Hello, peoples. Welcome once again to another edition of Sanders Speak. Sanders Speak, Sanders Speak, Sanders Speak. Today, as usual, we won't be talking about anybody. I guess we'll just sit up here and talk about maybe animals or something like that. But that better be okay and all. Yeah, we just talk about high-class animals. Let's see, we have some high-class animals around from different places that likes to pick on the peoples of the community and just do them any kind of way and all. And a lot of the peoples is not able to do anything about it. Is not able to say anything about it. Of course, they don't have any money to pay somebody else to get their rights for them. So what they have to do is get them on their own, is what it's all about. They have to either not be with a law that is going to look down upon you and make you into a zombie or a slave, or they would have to go ahead on and abide by that laws or those laws and rules and regulations that would make them be down and out or lack nothing or like a slave is what it's all about. Today we'll say something about maybe Judge Coleman. Let me say what I have to say about Judge Coleman. Let me see, can we get somebody to read the latest letter of Judge Coleman talking about what he's you know, they are planning all kinds of things against Enoch Sanders, you know, so we want to see what the latest movement is from Judge Coleman on Enoch Sanders. Can I get somebody in the on the staff to read it? Somebody to read the latest letter.
Well, I'm Mrs. Frazier. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is an order where the Circuit Court of the 1st Judicial District of Hinds County, Mississippi, where a cause is versus Ernest B. Stadden and Deborah Stadden versus Richard T. Roberts, Enoch Sanders, and Eunice Griffin. And this is an order. Defendant Sanders has made repeated slanderous allegations against the undesigned presiding judge in this cause on public access cable television. Over 18 years on the bench, I have grown immune to most personal tirades against me by disgruntled litigants and criminal defendants. Until recently, I have ignored inquiries from friends about the telecast and refused to watch or be influenced by these telecasts. Inquiries made to the members of my staff requesting my ability to remain impartial after these personal attacks have been, excuse me, let me get back my lines right. Inquiries made to the members of my staff questioning my ability to remain impartial after these personal attacks have forced me to consider recusal. On investigation, I now discover that Mr. Sanders has reached the deepest depth of depravity in his public slanderous attack and I cannot trust my ability to be impartial. Certainly, the general public would question my ability to do so. Therefore, following the dictates of the Code of Judicial Conduct that a judge should disqualify himself in a proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned, I am forced to recuse myself. The temporary injunction will remain in force until addressed by the subsequent presiding judge. I recuse myself, and it is so ordered by a judge this the 10th day of May, 1995, and it is signed by a judge which the first name appears to be William, but I'm not sure what the last name is. It looked like it could be a G-E-N-N, but I'm not sure that whoever written that, they written it where it cannot be understood by the general public. So, but this was a letter, seemed like it was from the court, and it was signed also by Barbara Dunn, Circuit Court. And this is the letter. It seemed like it was from the court. Hinds County, Mississippi. Circuit Court of the 1st Judicial District of Hinds County, Mississippi. And the case number is 251-95-8.
Thank you, Mrs. Frazier. Okay, you all see what this man have wrote about me, right? See, he says in the first sentence, as defendant Sanders has made repeated slanderous allegations against the undersigned presiding judge in this case on public access cable television. In other words, he done took me to court and found me guilty on something that I don't even know nothing about. He said that I have made slanderous statements against him. That's what it sounds like it said. I think he's wrong. I hadn't made no slanderous statements against him. Maybe he talking about the slanderous statements. Maybe he was saying that it is slander when I say something about he can't tell me what not to say out of my mouth when he can't tell his faggot son what not to put in his mouth. Well, hey, that's him. You know, he ought to discuss that with his son then. Y'all ought to keep all that now. I hadn't did anything, I hadn't said anything slanderous about you. But I've said that you was prejudiced and you wasn't, and I didn't feel as though that you would be a great judge to be over me. Because I'm a black man and you's a white man, and you's a prejudiced white man, and I brought Richard Barrett to court with me to discuss this matter. I brought an expert witness. I believe he's an expert on prejudice. He's an expert on the Constitution. He's an expert on people's getting their right of freedom of speech. Richard Barrett is a great upstanding citizen of this community, is what it's all about. And most of all, Mr. Richard Barrett is a friend of mine. Now, he might get shamed out here in the public from, black people going around saying that he's a friend, though. But it don't make any difference. I have a lot of friends that that do wrong things against me. Like Mr. Barrett told me once before, he said, wait a minute now, we got to get it straight now, you can't call me Richard down south down here. We, you's a black man and I'm a white man, and what do we do down south down here? He said, black man don't call no white man by his first name. So this is just one of the things that have been, that he has said to me, which I have wanted to get him on my program so I could, because I'm supposed to be going to New York sometime soon. We are putting our program out up there also. But I was wondering if I ask him to ride up that way with me, and if Mr. Richard Barrett would ride up that way with me, then I was going to ask him how far, do we get up that way before I can start calling him by his first name or whatever the case is. Where is he supposed to drop his prejudice back down here and leave it back down south in Mississippi ways where, everybody's going along with it at. So, but I hadn't got a chance to, to ask him about that. But just because other people might seem that he might be talking to people certain ways sometime now, then he hadn't, he don't make anybody be his friend or talk to him or whatever the case is. He stand up and be a man. He stand up for what he say and mean. Like Judge Coleman ought to do the same thing is what I'm saying. Judge Coleman ain't a pimple on Richard Barrett's butt. That's what it's all about now. And Of course, I might not lack some of Richard Barrett's ways, you know, but still, I must say that he's a man of men's. He's a man of men's. That's right. He's on target. He's a great man, he is. And when Judge Coleman saw Richard Barrett come into his courtroom, and he knew that he wasn't going to be able to stand up to Richard Barrett. So they had told me from the start I wasn't going to have to be there for 15 or 20 minutes. They held me there a couple of hours or better to make sure that Richard Barrett was gone first. That's what it seems like to me. And when Mr. Richard Barrett got ready to speak, he asked him could he speak because he was running late. He didn't think the trial was going to last the preliminary trial was going to last this long. And Judge Coleman wouldn't let him speak because Craig Brunson but now they let Craig Brunson and all the people that they wanted to speak spoke all they wanted to, first of all. Even one lady, Leslie Stapler, did she need to go ahead on and testify right away and all because she might have to go and take care of business elsewhere. But then Judge Coleman didn't do Richard Barrett like that. Of course I was going to attack him. I'm not going to have Judge Coleman doing my friend Richard Barrett like that. No, I'm not. You're not going to disrespect my friend. I had a Caucasian female come up to me the other day and asked me, you know, was I prejudiced because of the way I was talking. I said, you know, I don't think that that I'm prejudiced. I've been over backwards for my friend Richard Barrett. He gives me insult after insult, week after week and all. But that don't mean that that I can't learn to accept it. I've been learning to accept all the rest of the things Caucasians been doing to me all down the years and all. They've been even putting foots in my ass, knocking me all around all kinds of ways and all, and then tell me that you can't go to court and do nothing about it. You can't go to trial and do nothing. Ain't nothing I can do about it except a knot on my head, or either what? Either I had to turn to a gorilla and go off in the nighttime and all and wait for these jokers that's been doing these kind of things and then try to snipe them. Because you got to do something. You're just not going to let them just do something to you and then ain't nothing going to help them back behind it. No, You know, we're not just no dog people. You know, you just can't dog us out just no any old kind of way and all. It don't work like that. You do the people's wrong out here in the community, then the people's in the community going to be looking for you, trying to catch up with you to do you wrong back at the time that they so desire to do you wrong back at, is what it's all about. You know, a lot of people can say, hey, this is a lawless community out here. Well, say what you want to say and all. You know what it's all about. Now, what Judge Coleman and them trying to do now, you know, I want the people to make a bet on whether who they going to have to take over his place. Who they going to pay to dog Enoch Sanders out this go round. You know, now he figured that he's off of the, he's off of the limb now. He trying to ease off the limb. But now, Stimley, you know you gave me Judge Coleman, and you done gave him to me in the air. I'm not letting him off just like that. It don't work that way, Jack. It don't work that way, it don't. That's what it's all about. Now, you think you gonna get off the limb, Judge Coleman, it don't work like that. You know, all these people that you have been, all these years, 18 years, you have been judging people down and misusing, abusing them just like you've done me through this trial here. And I sat there and I watched you as you did that now. And what? Nothing happens behind it. Only thing you think you're going to do is just get off the case and then ain't nothing, oh, and that's going to be off. You don't reckon criminal charges ought to be brought against you for going this far in the trial, abusing my rights and everything the way you have done them? No, you were wrong. Now who are y'all gonna call in to fight this battle for you? Judge Coleman, Craig Brunson, who is you gonna get in now? Whoever you gonna get in now, you better watch out now, Craig Brunson, because you're trying to find some of my access to attack is going to turn around and is going to be attacking Frank Stemler and them assets since he got you out here trying to find some of my assets to attack. It don't work like that, Jack. I'm not the one. You come up to Richard Byrd and telling Richard Byrd things against me that y'all got to try to do something to stop my mouth from talking too much because I'm the big mouth of the South, huh? It don't work like that is what I'm saying. I have the right to allow other people that is not able to get up here on television for them to come up and speak out against a lot of you rich people around that's doing us poor people bad. And that goes for for poor blacks and whites alike. Like we had Mr. James Blackwell up here, wanted to talk about Mr. Trevor Blunt, I think it was. Of course, if he was here today, he'd be able to talk. That's what I'm saying. And I'm giving these people the opportunity to say these things if that's what they wishes to say. If these people is out here doing them wrong and they don't have no money, other news media won't listen to them, and they don't have anything else to do, then hey, we'll see to that we get the message out for them. There's no doubt now. That's what it's all about. It's time for us poor people to be able to put up some kind of defense of ourselves. Because in the courtroom, it seems like it's almost impossible for us to get into justice. I was in the courtroom. You all remember when I was telling y'all about, of course, y'all remember John W. Moore, this police officer that dogged me out. And then he went to Ed Peters' office and he got some charges from back 83, 84, 85 traffic tickets and charged me over $1,000 for it. And then had this black judge, Orrin Page, his Uncle Tom, to throw me in jail without due process. And now, they are study doing these kind of things to all our peoples out here, but they don't expect nobody to do nothing back to them about it, or nobody to say nothing about it. Y'all remember John Dan Mulder, right? You remember what happened to him? He had a man that grabbed me up in the courtroom, marching me around in the courtroom, and said that the man was an off-duty police officer. Now, it seems like John Dan Mulder, seeing that this man was breaking the law, he should have brought charges against this man. But John Dan Mulder didn't care what happened as long as it was against me. John Dan Mulder allowed police officers to, not off-duty police officers, but security guards to bring guns in his courtroom against a lady, against a black lady, where these white males attacked the black lady, wrestled her down at the University Hospital, put her in handcuffs, made her take a drug test, made her take a test for a mental test. They made her take a physical exam also. 3 different exams they made this female, this almost 50-year-old female take against her will. And nothing is being done about it. Nobody's talking about it. That was the Miss Evelyn Christine Neely case. Now they done did all this to her, and John Dan Mulder go up there and find the people not guilty. Of course they're going to be not guilty. I bet you if I had twisted that other man's arm and brought him into the courtroom, the one that brought me in there, I brought him in there and said, hey, John Dan Mulder, I got him. I think he was interrupting your court. Excuse me. I bet you he wouldn't he would have told them to lock me up. This man came in there and attacked me, threw me on the floor on the outside of the court, and came on the inside and brought me in there with my arm twisted up behind my back and tell the judge, ex-judge, what to do with me. In other words, what you gonna do with me? I ain't broke no law, I ain't did nothing. The way y'all were treating this lady up in there, I just couldn't hardly take it, so I left out the courtroom. Dan Mulder had these white folks up in the courtroom, the same white folk that she was accusing of attacking him, with guns to their side. Now what are you talking about, huh? You ain't got no business having these men been accused of attacking her, and now you're gonna bring these same men back up in your courtroom with guns to their side. Now you don't have no accused criminal offense. These folk coming up in your courtroom with no guns on. Your courtroom must be made for white peoples only. That's what we're saying. I'm not prejudiced in saying what I'm saying. I'm just calling it like it is. That's all. A black don't have a chance in John Dan Mulder's courtroom. Simple as that. When a black face somebody like John W. Moore, police officer John W. Moore, out there on the streets and all, he don't have a chance, the black don't. Unless the black got $1 million or more like O.J. Simpson, that's the only way he'll have a chance. Now what are we talking about, y'all? Are we being serious out here or not? You see I don't have the flag up behind me today, the upside down American flag. Stand for the upside down justice that John W. Mulder and Judge William F. Coleman, these people is out here issuing, Judge Orrin Page, all these kind of things. You know, that's a criminal offense. That man, you know, just locking me up, having me ordered to be locked up just any old kind of way and all. You think I'm not going to be investigating these things? You're crazy. I got a friend of mine, and yes, he's a Caucasian. You all hadn't heard his name lately, but he hadn't heard his name, but he's, you know, we are studying law together and being taught. So be advised of what is going on. But I'm telling you like it is, we would like to have our flag. I was in during the Vietnam thing, in the military, the Marine Corps. We would like to have our flag up the right way so it'll stand for justice for all the peoples. And in other words, it'll include the poor blacks and whites also, is what it's all about. And to answer anybody's question on me being prejudiced or anything like that, no, I'm not off into that. It's not fashionable to be prejudiced, and I'm not really calling myself being fashionable either. But I'm not off into the prejudice bag. I'm off into righteousness. I like to go by things in the way of God is what it's all about. So basically, what we are talking about out here right now is we got judges like William F. Coleman. Now they done sent, he was the first round, you know, and they have been defeated. Now they're gonna send the second wave in. You know, maybe they're gonna put an Uncle Tom up there and give orders to the Uncle Tom to dog me out. You know, maybe want me to shorten the Uncle Tom's career or something, or whatever the case might be. First of all, what we doing, I'll be filing my pauper's papers sometime soon and all, because I ain't nothing but a poor man. I ain't got nothing. Everybody want to sue me and put me in jail, do this, that, and other. Now, then just go ahead on and do what you got to do. You know, right now, as things stand, and now we are not even able to get our telephone turned back on. You know, because bills have been hitting us tough. So many different bills, you know, but we're not going to worry about that. We know that sooner or later, you know, God will bless us. But of course, what we have to do is we have to try to get out here and get it on our own by any means necessary. But of course, we're talking about by lawful means. And And all these different peoples that I be out here talking about, I don't want these people to think like Orrin Page, Judge Coleman, Judge John Dan Mulder. I don't want all these different people to think that I'm out here, or either Troy Maddox or the folks down at the Trustmark Bank, because them people they are vicious vampires down to the Trustmark Bank. There's a bunch of Caucasians that's up there in charge of the first part of the main part of Trustmark Bank, and we're working on getting some names and everything so we can be letting these people know that you know, that it's wrong for what they are doing and all. It's time for them to step down. Time for them to get some new blood in there. You know, let some other people, let some young people come in and all that don't feel so prejudiced and all that when somebody want a loan or something now, they, you know, they won't do them wrong just because of the color of the skin. You know, in other words, I bet you maybe Trustmark is the one that's loaning money to Craig Brunson or Frank Stimley and them. What I'm saying now, see, I don't want to say nothing against Frank Stimley. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to stay back from Frank Stimley all I can, but I've told him, though, he need to get rid of Craig Brunson, because Craig Brunson ain't going to be running around here trying to attack nobody's assets and all. And if Craig Brunson is in his office and looking for a way to attack me, then I'm not going for it and all. I guess people don't say I'm prejudiced when I'm up against you black-ass lawyers, huh? Like Craig Brunson and Frank Stimley or something, huh? I'm not against Frank Stimley, though, like I said, but I've asked him to put Craig Brunson out off of his team. You know, that if he gonna do something now, he don't need to do it with all them sex abusers and all them folks that off into all these sex games and stuff. You know, they're gonna get him mixed up with that too and all. People gonna start attacking his assets and everything and all. And if you don't want your assets and everything attacked, you, you're gonna need to get rid of them now, because we gonna be finding out who you got your loan secured through with, everything and all, and we're gonna be coming at you. Because we don't have time for no shucking and jiving, because you know, you made your bed, now you got to lay in it, is what it's all about. And I don't want to do these things, but anytime somebody come at me like this, I don't have any other alternative but to do what I got to do to get the job done, is what it's all about. So you know, maybe a hint to the wise be fishing. But in what I'm saying, hey, the next people that they send up here, maybe they're gonna send out of town and get some, you know, white boy from out of town, a retired judge or something, to come over here to preside over this case or whatever the case is and all. But you know, he without fault go head on and judge, you know, is what it's all about. But you know, judge ye not unless you're willing to be judged by the same standards now, is what it's all about. Because God above judging us all is what it's all about. And you know, y'all putting these things on me, you think you're gonna do me this way, do me that way, dog me out just any kind of way then. You know, that's your thing and all. Do what you wanna do, that's what it's all about. We're not gonna worry about that though. Only thing we gonna try to do is we're gonna try to work in with y'all and whatever you all is doing and all. But I'm saying that you sack around whoever this next judge is, he put Uncle Tom up there now and think he gonna, you know, dog Enoch Sanders out, then go ahead on then. You know, do what you got to do and all. But I'm gonna tell you like it is and all. Enoch gonna stand up and hold for his own. Mr. Sanders on Sanders Speak, we're gonna stand up and hold for our own. And if some other folk wanna hold for their own, we're gonna put white folk, black folks, anybody up here on these stages that wanna talk out against these other rich folks out here that's doing all these things against our peoples and all. This stage is for the poor peoples and all, the poor whites and poor blacks that would like to come up to speak out against some of these rich folks that have stepped on us and dogged our rights out and nobody else would stand up for us and all. Then we gonna make sure that it's a place for these peoples to be, to stand up and be heard, is what it's all about. You're not gonna tell me that these peoples cannot be heard, because they can be heard on Sanders Speak, or the struggles continues, is what it's all about. The struggle continues was set up purposely just for these poor peoples to be heard, white and black alike. We all together is what it's all about. I haven't been preaching no violence between the races out here. I am not off into that. I'm not off into prejudice. I'm not off into black on black crime. I'm not off into the violence of the city. I'm off into getting drugs out of the city. I'm off into bringing peace among the races, bringing peace from the blacks among the blacks also. Because we definitely need a lot of peace among the blacks. We need to stop the crime in our neighborhood. If you see somebody breaking your neighbor's house, you need to call 911 and make sure that something is done about it. You need to let people know that you're going to stand up when you